Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeena Shrestha, and he is one of the Holocaust survivors.
Eddie Weinstein.
Eddie Weinstein.
Okay. Jeena, can you tell us your background, where you came from?
I'm from Nepal.
And what are you studying?
I'm studying. I just applied for nursing. Let's hope I get into the program. It's in New York. It's been just 9 months, but I was back in Idaho State, and in United States it's been 2.5 years.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us about your experience with Eddie?
In May 25th, Tuesday. I can't forget that day in my life, and I'm fortunate to have a chance to talk to Eddie Weinstein. And I thank Dr. Fluke and his team and him for giving me this great opportunity. Eddie was born in Losice, a small town in Poland, and today he's 85 years old. Going back to his childhood, there were 4 members in his family. Himself, his mother Leah, his father Asher, and brother Israel. And they lived in an apartment with 2 rooms. His father learned tailoring in his youth, but he did not practice this trade to support his family because it was not possible to support a family by this tailoring. So he went into a business. He went out into the nearby villages in a horse cart and bought eggs, hens, dogs, and geese from the peasants to resell in town so that he can support his family. Eddie went to a religious school for boys, which was named Cheddar.
Me?
Yeah.
Heather,
okay. Sorry, Heather.
This is preschool.
Yeah.
To learn the Hebrew and praying more.
Yeah, it was a religious school, and one of the teachers ran in his own apartment. He went to public school when he was 6 years old, but when he was in 5th grade, he was severely sick for about 10 weeks, so he could not continue his study. But later he got well and he studied in yeshiva in Losice. And when I asked Eddie about his childhood and how he survived the war, he constantly kept telling me about Treblinka. When I asked him, is Treblinka a concentration camp? He said no. He started saying, Treblinka, it's not a concentration camp, it's a death factory, death camp, where the Nazis killed people. When I asked him, what do you remember most about your home, or anything that you remember the most about that time, he answered me with full of tears in his eyes, his dearest mother. Everybody were on the street at that time. Some women, children, and old men were ordered to climb into the truck along with their belongings. Later, some men and healthy women were kicked off the wagons and ordered them to line up on the side. And Eddie's mother was one of them. Everybody was following the wagon, and finally there was an order to halt. The officer allowed his mother to pass or to follow the wagon, and when Eddie tried to follow his mother, he stopped him, and that was the last time he saw his mother. Eddie, along with his brother, they were deported to Treblinka death camp from Losice on August 22nd, 1942. On the camp, they were ordered men and older boys to the right side, and women, children, and the elderly people to the left. And Eddie and his brother joined the right-handed side. And in the death camp, their job was to remove the suffocated, motionless, and dead people from the train, from the trucks, and they worked all night. But many people died before the night was over. And the next day, while Eddie and his brother was waiting in line for water, Eddie was shot in the chest by an SS guard. and the bullet piercing his lungs and exiting through his back, right on his right side. Israel hid him in the building full of clothing of martyred Jews and left to get him water, but Israel, he never returned, and that was the last time Eddie saw his brother too. Eddie, and from that time he never saw his brother. On August 29th, in the morning, he heard men at work and realized that they had to abandon the refugees. Eddie left that hut that morning and looked for his brother. He saw his friend Gedalia. Is it Gedalia?
Gedalia
Rosenberg. Yeah,
I got out of the building.
Yeah.
And I was looking for my brother, but I found a friend from
his
school.
Friend from the religious school we earlier
Gedalia
mentioned. Yeah, and Eddie asked him about his brother, but nobody knew about him. That day, all the clothes shorters had been given a red triangle that they attached with a safety pin to their right trouser leg. Gedalia found a piece of red cloth among the rags and attached to it Eddie's pants with a safety pin. And when the SS man asked Eddie his name, he answered Gedalia Rosenweg, and he moved on. On September 7th.
September 7th.
Yeah. You want to talk about it?
What was that?
No.
September 7th?
Yeah. No, on September 7th, they were all...
It was the 9th or the 10th, I'm not sure. The 9th or the 10th September. A train arrived, yeah? They started loading, yeah?
Yeah.
It was 9th or the 10th. I say in the book, I think I have it for the 9th or the 10th. I don't remember exactly. I don't remember exactly the day. Either it was the 9th or the 10th. A train arrived to pick up the mountains of clothing of the dead. And we were ordered to load. And I got in. So two other guys, two friends, Gedalia Rosenweg and another guy. Mm-hmm. And the train left. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. And they all three friends, they hid in the bundle of cloths, and they were all suffocated, but they were really afraid. They were really scared too. He says that each of which was more than like a century. It was not days. It was not, it was like a century. He spent 70 days in Treblinka, and it was like a century. Similarly, he had to go through many obstacles in his early life, but he escaped 6 times during the Holocaust. And then now he is happy. He got married in 1948. He rebuilt his life in the United States. He ran a knitting business, knitting sweaters, jackets for a long time. Now he's retired.
45 years.
Yes, for 45 years. Now he's retired. He has 2 sons. His older son is a biochemist, and a younger one is a professor of applied math at Columbia. Mathematics at Columbia University. And he has 7 grandchildren. One of his grandsons had just discovered a new method to diagnose liver cancer without the need of a biopsy, and he's very happy about that. And yeah, he's always very happy when he talks about his family right now, when he talks about his grandsons, how they are improving their life. And he always loves to share his story wherever he goes with as many people as possible. And these days he visits schools, he shares his story and talks to young people about being tolerant of other cultures, races, and religions. So that was his story.
Okay.
Now, I was here when you interviewed Eddie. You came into the office area. And of all the things Eddie told you, because you spent about 2.5, 3 hours with him, of all the things he told you, what struck you as the most important or the most shocking? Or something that said, I could never forget this?
When he talks about his mother.
Would you tell us?
Yeah, as I told you earlier, when everybody was lining up and following the wagon, the truck, his mother was also there. But when his mother was following the truck, and when he tried to follow his mother, the officer, the guard, stopped him, and he just saw his mother going all the way far. That was the most.
I'm going back there. I'm going this month. They're going to honor one of the. Right, she has my book.
Yeah.
You finished it?
I just read the Treblinka part.
The name of the book is 17 Days in Treblinka, Daring to Resist and Refusing to Die. Okay? The Yad Vashem, that's the largest Holocaust center in the world, is going to honor one of the people, a Polish man who helped us survive, a fisherman. And he died in 1960, his wife died, no children, but they're going to honor the family, somebody from the family. The Israeli embassy in Warsaw. Yeah, so they gave me a date, the 30th of June. I'm going there with my sons and some of the grandchildren. Some are in school, they couldn't go. And so I'm going to go there. Of course, I'm going to go to Treblinka. In Treblinka, there's a film company in England. They filmed me in November last year in Pacific, New Jersey, in the Sheraton, I think it is. And they're very interested to go there and to film. And I got the email yesterday. This just came up.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're going to go there.
Very good. And you'll have when you come back, we'll have you here to tell us what.
Yeah, they gave me. I have tapes from that one.
Okay.
From the one what they did 3 hours.
Okay. Well, we thank you both.
And let me finish.
Go ahead. You want go right.
I want to tell you about my family. I have two sons. She told me. My older son is a biochemist, and my younger son is a professor of mathematics at Columbia University. He's a member, applied mathematics. He's a member in SIAM, mathematics organization, 13,000 strong, international. And they choose 30 scientists to honor this July in Pittsburgh. He's one of them for his work he's doing. Now, his son, my grandson, who is a professor, going for a PhD in biophysics at Stanford University. Last year he was written up in Science magazine. He discovered if a doctor in immunology, he discovered that if a doctor suspects somebody to have cancer on the liver, you have to take a biopsy, which is very, very painful. He discovered a method. They're going to be able to do it with a blood test.
Okay, thank you, Eddie.
He was invited all over.